So tonight we're going to be making a flank steak with chimichurri and a side salad. So last week we were in Traverse City, Michigan on our way up into the UP, and we were super lucky because there actually happened to be an Airstream Rally that was going to be happening at the same time we were there. And so it was put on by the Michigan Airstream Club. Super cool group of people. They totally welcomed us in, even though we're from Florida. It's called Silver on Silver Lake Rally. But anyway, we had all sorts of fun, campfires, tours, the usual stuff, but always food. And so one of the nights was actually pretty cool. It was a bring your own meat to grill. And so we did a flank steak with a chimichurri sauce, and it went over so well that we want to show everybody here how to make it. So first step is we're actually going to make a very quick marinade for the flank steak. This is something that it could sit for like an hour or so, or you could let it go overnight, but just to get a little bit of flavor on it. One of the things I like to do if I'm going to marinate meat, and it also saves some dishes, is we're just going to marinate it directly in a Ziploc bag. So I'm gonna put it into a bowl just to kind of help hold it in place, but it's gonna be clean. That way I don't have to wash it at the end. So first step is gonna be a 1/4 cup of olive oil, 3 cloves of garlic, the juice of 1 lime, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we'll get the meat in it, bagged up, and set it aside while we prep everything else. Okay, so now that we've got our meat ready, I'm just gonna have it rest in the refrigerator just while we're getting everything else done. We are going to make the actual chimichurri sauce. And so for this, it's a lot of the same ingredients we just did. We've got more garlic, lime juice, but we're gonna also add some red onion, red wine vinegar. Sometimes I'll do this in the food processor if I'm kind of in a rush and I just want to get it done quick. But then sometimes I'll just chop it all by hand. I think chopping it by hand, it makes it look a little bit more chunky versus if you do it in the food processor, it comes out more like a dressing. So it's really just your preference as far as how you want it to look. So let's get started chopping everything up. So we're going to start with a cup of each, a cup of cilantro and a cup of parsley. They didn't have any parsley at the grocery store today, so luckily we still had some that was in the fridge that I managed to bring back to life. I'm going to show you how to store your herbs in the refrigerator. That way you can get more longevity out of them. But let's say you have some herbs that are looking a little limp. You can cut off the ends, put them in a cup of water for a little bit, and it'll perk right back up. Same thing with lettuce. Put it in a bowl of water just to soak. So we're going to go ahead and get this chopped up. So like I said, be a cup of cilantro. What I'm going to do to preserve this last little bit, because there's still plenty here, you want to take a paper towel and moisten it, squeeze out the excess, and we're just going to wrap that around the herbs that are left. And this is going to go into a Ziploc bag. And I typically will do a couple different herbs in the same bag. None of them are so pungent that they're going to mess up the others. But then just once you close it up, you're not trying to get all the air out of it. You actually want some air left in it, like that. And so this will help keep your herbs probably good for at least a whole week. So for any of the herbs, I just take them and I just kind of roll them like you're rolling a cigar, and then just come through and chop them up. Add this to our bowl. We're gonna do the same with our parsley. And with parsley, obviously we want the leaves, but don't be afraid about including the stems of parsley in it. The stems have a ton of flavor, and especially when you're talking about chopping this up for like a chimichurri, there's nothing wrong with having them in there. So again, we'll just roll it up and then we'll just give it a nice chop. All right, that looks good. Next step is some red onion. And so we need a 1/2 cup for this. And for this, I do like to do a little bit of a finer dice on it. So I'm gonna try to get this as tiny as I can. It would have helped if I'd used the bigger knife today. I don't know why I didn't grab it. So we've got our onion chopped up. I am just going to measure this out, otherwise I would probably overdo it on the onion. There's our half cup. Next up is going to be our garlic cloves. 3 garlic cloves. I'm just going to do them straight into here. I love this Pampered Chef garlic press. I think I've told you guys before, but it's my absolute favorite. You do not even have to peel the garlic beforehand. It comes out. But it pushes all the garlic straight through, and it makes it just really fine, really finely minced. Last up is going to be our liquids and some spice. So we're using another whole lime. I'm just going to squeeze it directly in here. This is also my absolute favorite juicer. It's a Chefin is the brand. Sell it on Amazon. We'll put a link in the description, but it just makes that so easy and gets every little bit out. So 1 whole lime. We're also going to do 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, which we had to buy more today. All right, we're going to do a half a cup of olive oil. I actually need to grab another one out of the pantry. That was the end of that one. Okay. Total of 1/2 cup olive oil. And then the last thing is red pepper flakes. And so for this, you can go as spicy or not as spicy as you want. I don't mind the extra kick, so we're just gonna do a full teaspoon here. And I said last thing, but obviously salt and pepper. So we'll just start with maybe half a teaspoon salt, and then we'll do some finely grated, what's the word? Finely ground black pepper. And then we're gonna give it a stir. So we've got it all mixed up now. You can see it's a little bit of a rougher chop. That way you can see what's in it, but you know, you could always do the food processor and then it'll come out more like a green goddess dressing look. This isn't something that needs to sit for any period of time. It's ready to go right now. So we're just gonna go ahead outside, get the grill heated up, and then we'll get the flank steak on and then get going.
So we use a Weber Q1000 grill. We modified it with a kit that I'll put a link to in the description. Remove the regulator so that it can hook up to the quick disconnect on our trailer, so we don't have to carry a separate propane bottle for it. And then it actually stores right in this 27-gallon tote from Lowe's or Home Depot. Only thing is we just have to flip the lid upside down when the grill's in it. But otherwise it stacks on top of all the other crates that we use just like it, and makes our grill life easier.
So we're just waiting on the grill to get heated up, but I told you guys we just left Traverse City last week, and so this week we're in St. Ignace and we're staying at Lakeshore RV Campground, I think is what it's called. It's a little tight, which you can see, but we don't always pick RV campgrounds because of the campground itself. It's always about like proximity to places to go, and so that was actually one of the things that we got to spend the weekend doing, was exploring the area. So St. Ignace is right across the straits from Mackinac City. We went over to Mackinac Island and State Park yesterday to go explore. So far it's been beautiful. We've definitely are gonna, try to make it back over to the island at some point. But anyway, we're gonna grill out here, and then there's this really nice beach across the street that maybe we'll take our dinner down to if the weather holds out. It's ready to go. When I do the flank steak on the grill, I typically don't use the meter thermometer. I'll just use a quick read digital thermometer. They aren't always even as far as their thickness, and so one side tends to get done a little sooner than the other, and so I like to be able to measure both. But typically I'll just leave this on here for a couple minutes per side, and I might kind of change the angle of it just to get some better grill marks. But we'll just do it probably like 3 to 4 minutes per side, flip it. After a little bit, we'll start taking the temperature. I like to bring it to probably like 128 and then pull it because it's going to carry over some of that temperature. Personally with this, I like, well, for all steaks, I like a medium rare, but I think when you're talking about flank steak like this, it looks really pretty because the way we're going to slice it, if it still has some pink color to it. So that's what we're going for. Jesus. I'm watching people park. All right, I think we are almost there. So you can see with flank steak, you've got like more of a thick side, and then it typically kind of comes to a point and gets a little bit thinner. So this is gonna cook much faster. This will be a little bit rare, but that's actually great because if you're making the meal for a group of people and everybody likes their doneness slightly different, you can still cook it all at once. Our thick part is coming up at 111. Probably just let this go up. See, then there's one spot that's like 126. So this is almost done over here. And then if we check this side, yeah, we're at 142. So we're good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. We'll take it inside to rest for a little bit before we cut it up. And then we're gonna close this, leave it on, let it heat back up. That way we can clean it before we put it up.
Yes, and if you have an Airstream, here's my super secret grill brush holder.
Oh, the little...
Also known as the stabilizer.
It comes in handy.
In just the right spot.
Yeah, or head it in. Oh, look who's waiting for us. Watch out. Okay, so while Billy is out there cleaning the grill, I'm gonna go ahead and just prep a really quick salad. So I was just thinking, use some of the same ingredients that we did, that we did for everything else, just so it complements. So we're just gonna do just some nice spring mix. I like to cut my spring mix up just a little bit. Like, I hate trying to eat pieces that big. So I'm just gonna give this a couple chops just to make them a little bit more bite size. Yeah, it looks good. And then I am just going to put the olive oil and lime juice straight on the salad. So we'll just do a nice drizzle of olive oil. Let me grab one of the other limes. Cut this and we will just squeeze it right on top. Looks good. I think I'm just gonna stick with just half of a lime. I don't think I'm gonna add any red wine vinegar, just that way keep it like, it doesn't need to be too acidic because we're gonna have plenty of acid from the actual chimichurri. I'll just sprinkle a little bit of salt and some pepper on it and we will give it a quick toss. Oh, and I think I have, yeah, I just had some extra Parmesan cheese, so just throw a little bit of that on it. And then we will just give it a good shake. We've got some cherry tomatoes that I just like to snack on in general, but we'll put some of those on top. All right, so we've let the flank steak rest for probably about 10 minutes now. And so it's carried over some of that temperature and then also let all the juices sit in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up. And so typically the way you would plate this is you would cut it up into slices and then you would pour the chimichurri over it. So you can do this in kind of large slices, but the way that we did it at the rally that I actually think is just even nicer if it's just you eating it, is we're actually gonna cut this in half and then we will further cut them like this. And this will be the way we'll serve the slices. But you can see we've got a nice doneness down here, still with some pink, and then we'll have some that are a little bit rarer as we get towards the top. So again, it's great if you have people that like varying donenesses on their steak. But yeah, that's great. That's what we're going for. Whatever. All right, let's get it plated. I couldn't help but snack. I can take another bite. Another snack. It's so good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this plated. So what I like to do is we're just kind of gonna stack them here out like kind of some cards that are fanned out. I'll do mine first. I like rare, so we're gonna go with the rarer part of it. But I'm just gonna lay a couple of these pieces out. Maybe some of these other ones down here too. And then we're gonna drizzle some of the chimichurri over top of it. Just give this a quick stir. And then I'm just gonna lay it right down the center. And you can always serve more of this, you know, on the side for people to add. But I like to just do just kind of a nice little amount kind of down the center. That way you can still see the steak. Maybe just pour some of the oil across it. And then we will just take our salad, just put that over on the side. This would also go good like if you want to do some fingerling potatoes, something like that. We just want to keep it light tonight, so. Come here, tomatoes. It's mine, so I'm trying to put all the tomatoes on mine. Ah, all right. That's it. That is our flank steak with chimichurri and a side salad.
What are you pairing yours with?
What'd I do? Cerveza Athletica. It's like a, what would you compare it to?
It's like a Corona.
No, but it's darker. Like a Dos Equis amber.
Okay.
I have
Like
to
a
remind
Dos Equis
myself
amber.
what regular alcohol is like. Like Dos Equis amber. Whatever, it's good. It's super refreshing. It goes perfectly with what we're eating tonight. First pass is just really good. Like, what I love about chimichurri is it just tastes super bright, is probably the best way I can describe it, just between like the lime juice and the
Herbs.
the herbs and the red wine vinegar. Like, it just has like a very bright, fresh flavor to it. So it just complements the steak really well. We're on a little bit of an incline, so our plates
You
can
want to push the side a
slide.
little bit?
That dog is so cute, by the way.
They're our neighbors.
I'm pretty sure her name's Penny. We thought she was a puppy, but she's, what do you say, 10 years old?
10 years old.
I'm telling you, one of the best parts about RVing is all the dogs. Yeah, so we are staying in, this campground is just west of St. Ignace. So that's all the way over there. Across the street is Mackinac City, right? I keep getting the two confused. That's Mackinac City. So this is technically the Mackinac Straits. So
Straits of Mackinac.
Straits of Mackinac. So that is Lake Michigan that way, and this is Lake Huron that way. It's cold water regardless. But it's pretty cool. You can see like freighters come through every once in a while. And it's like what, 7:30 at night?
Yep, 7:30.
And the sun is still like super high in the sky. It doesn't go down out here until 10 o'clock at night probably. And even then it's still kind of light outside. But anyway, hope you enjoy this recipe. Like I said, it went over super well when we did it for the rally. Great, easy meal. It makes great leftovers too. But I think it can also be a great appetizer if you need to take something to, you know, just to get together. But anyway, hope you enjoy. And if you like content like this, cooking, RV lifestyle stuff, tech tips,
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. We appreciate it. It helps us out.